Fix or repair daily. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Project Ruby as she improves steadily towards getting her on the road in a reasonable condition where I feel that there are less jobs to do when I actually do start driving on the road, which is not far away at all. There are a few outstanding jobs that I want to get done because I've actually had a few parts arrive. But in terms of the door, the rear passenger door, that guide, there was definitely some sort of manufacturing fault with that guide. Whether the manufacturer made it, maybe the same manufacturer made the windows, Lunar Security possibly. They obviously painted some metal that was not treated properly, and therefore later on when the rain came through the door, paint lifting, rusting, and it's got to the state 34 years later where it's absolutely shot. Well, I went on a bit of a trip recently, and you will find out exactly where I've been very soon, potentially imminently, actually, very imminently, depending on when this video comes out, because at the moment there are a few episodes that I've just filmed back to back. You may not see them as of when I film them, but it's not far off. But I've just met one of the previous owners of Project Ruby. His name's Kieran, and he knows who he is. I think he does anyway. And I managed to get a load of very valuable parts from him for Ruby. We had a really good chat on the driveway. Love talking to you, buddy. And I managed to find quite a few things out about the history of the car and some revealing pictures of some suspicion. And I've had a few things confirmed to me, which is good because that car is going to receive some paint. I'm still up for debate whether I get it done professionally or whether I have a go myself. I have all the equipment to do so. It just depends on how confident I feel. I can't do a worse job than the dealer who painted it. It was the dealer who had the car originally from the family. It was part X'd for another car, and the dealer sold it on to Kieran, who then sold it on to Rob, who I bought the car off. I have a blimmin' window guide. It's a blimmin' window guide, and it's brilliant. Look at that. That is how it should look. That's the bottom. No, that's the top. This is the bottom bit that was absolutely rotten on Ruby. Absolutely rotten. We're going to get the old one out now. And we're going to swap the whole thing over. It's going to take a lot. We're going to have to drill the regulator out and take all the glass out. That's all right. This is going in. And I'll tell you what, I didn't even need to paint this up. It's that good. And that's amazing. Thank you very much, Kieran. There's a couple of bits that I've also bought from him, like a couple of a spare central locking motor, because I have 4 of them because it's a 4-door. So there's a chance that one of them could give in. So I've got a working one as a backup. A spare boot latch motor. The one in the car works, but again, it's a unique part to the early Fiestas. Hard to get, and it was there. And a sun visor, because the passenger sun visor has gone a bit... yeah, I think damp sitting in the garage maybe has not done it too much good. The driver's one's fine, but the passenger one shot. Anyway, let's start the work getting this bad boy fitted. Good morning. Wow, I have been having to do a few touch-ups. I will show you. Oh dear, what's Andrew been doing touch-up for? Well, basically I wanted to put a magnet on the back of this, and I now know what the problem was with the tailgate. I will show you a picture in the next episode, but basically, as you can guess, there has been a hole in this tailgate. I don't know why. Maybe rain was constantly pouring on it. There's a few areas that I've suspicion, but basically whoever sprayed it up went way too far. They ripped that off, as we know, and it just went over the top. I think I can get away with spraying it into the corner here and blending it out round the side. That is going to be a new skill for me to learn. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to have a go. I'm going to take this out, obviously, take that out and do it absolutely properly. Do it really well. What we have here is a bit of filler, but that's a skim. The area of rot, I'll just bring this here, is around where my finger is. I think it's around here. Or around, no, it's here. So there's a skim of filler where my finger is at. I can feel a high. So it goes high, then it goes low, low, high, low. This is where we had a hole. There's a hole at the back here, and there's some fiberglass. Someone's been in with the fiberglass. I have taken the cover off the back. They've done a neat job actually on the back side, but on this side, no. I am going to tidy it up on the inside as well, naturally, but I think I'm willing to go with that prep work. I hope to God they've rust converted it, because this car has been outside the last couple of years since that work has been done. So this was done 2 years ago, and actually there's no signs of rusting, any deterioration, any paint flaking and bubbling on the surface again, because there's still rust there. So I think whoever did it, I think they ground it back to metal, and then they either did some rust converter, they did something to make sure that the rust did not return, or at least did not return quickly, because you know, if you do it wrong, it will just go wrong again, and you wasted your time painting and filling. It will just crack and flake. You can't put filler or fiberglass on top of metal that is rusting, because when that metal starts rusting, the fiberglass loses its bond to the actual metal, therefore the fiberglass will start to move, then the paint will crack on the surface, and then they get flaking, and that's it. You have to start all over again. So you've got to do it properly first time. But actually, it's just the finish. It's just the finish. I am not willing. I mean, I could get another tailgate, but I've got to get an early one because of this swage line on the early Mark IIIs. But I'd have to have the whole thing resprayed, because getting one in diamond white, well, it's one of those things. At a car this age, you'll be lucky to get one in better condition. It could have different problems. And from what I've seen around this tailgate, that's the only area that needs to be looked at. Oh, and by the way, the corner of this wing, no. Again, that's another picture I'm going to have to show you. I'll probably put it at the end of this video, to be honest with you. Now I've shown you. But there wasn't any damage, nothing hit it. There was just some rust here. And there was just a little bit of rust. Can you see where I've gone underneath and had a look? And there was a little bit of rust that wasn't converted, and I've just killed it, and that's it. But as far as I'm concerned, no leaks in the car. There's no sign of any leaks in the car. It's just gone on the corner as usual. But luckily, if you look at the picture at the end of this video, they caught it just in time. The outer paint had flaked off, and there was rust underneath, but it hadn't gone through at all. It just needed dealing with, and I'm glad that somebody thought, I'll deal with that. The truth is, he didn't do a very good job with the spraying job. He did actually the prep work okay, but as I say, I've just put some stupid paint on it to protect it. But that, I think, it's a difficult one, because unfortunately it's 1, 2, 3 panels, and there's no rust on this wing. The rust is all here on this corner of this A-pillar. But so I'm pleased. There's several areas that I'm going to be busy with. That's going to be a time-consuming process. The truth is, I may not film that, because I like to film things on this channel that I can show you to do at home. Painting is not one of them, and I can't show you that because my skills of painting are not very good. But this will be a challenge for me to improve and to push myself, because the cost of paintwork on this car might be quite dear. I have had a quote, and I'm not happy spending that much money on this car at this moment in time. So my idea is that I do spray up the arch. I've got to obviously sand that back off. I haven't dealt with that yet, but I suspect what I'm going to have to do is, unless there's a hole, it will be skimmed. If there's a loss of metal, which there is here and here, it will be skimmed. You see, right, can you focus in? Bit of loss of metal there, it just needs a skim. That's all it needs. So if the outer side is like that, what I'll do is I'm going to have some paint cans made to match that paint. And I will mask up all around here, and I'll probably cut it off there and blend it in that bit there. And then we can paint all that bit, all of it. In terms of this side, don't need to look at it, because this paint is all good, so I don't need to touch the diamond white on this side. That side, I've got to do both the diamond white and the grey, but that's okay. On that side, I may not come round the corner. There's some chips, but I can live with that. It's just patina, it's nothing. So I'm trying to avoid showing as many blend lines as possible, because that's the difficult bit, blending it in. I have been given some tips, so I have some weapons in my arsenal. So all fun and games. Anyway, let's get on with this job. Right, last episode, we took those two out. We took that bolt out. Ugh. And we took that bolt out. It's still raining. Oh, I was going to swear then. Don't swear, Andrew. So, that's for the motor. Don't need to worry about that. Okay. That. Right, we've taken the handle off. I may need to put the handle back on in a second, but let's just remove the sticky foam. We need to drop this regulator. Now, I don't know if I've got to wind it yet, but all I'm going to do is just drop it, okay? It's not going to fall out because it's just held in like by this. So I'm going to drill all these 4 rivets out to start. That's one. Is there anything you can't get the end off? Look at that. Come on. Right, now that is now completely free. Okay, now I could just pull the whole window. Yes, I'll just pull it down actually. Keep pulling. Right, I don't... Right, this is where it gets a bit fiddly. Okay, might need to pull that across. I believe you just slide this up there. So if we get the... Come on, just slide off. Yeah, it's off. Yeah, that's it. How easy is that? It just slides off. Oh, for goodness sake. Lovely. Okay, so it just slides off. A good chance for me to... Ugh, it's greasy. A good chance for me to just clean it up. Maybe put some fresh grease on there. Or some GT85 or something. Ugh, they do get gungy over time. Right, the manual says pull it all the way down now. Now the regulator's gone, you can pull the window all the way down, okay? So just keep going until it hits the floor. Yeah, okay, that is now at rock bottom. Now that should allow you possibly to twist this guide. This guide is now free. We need to come this way. This window is obviously going to come out, so you're going to sort of twist it this way. So yeah, beat that movement. Right, that's a bit tight. But yeah, as I say, it says in the book to drop the regulator down and sort of slide it out, but it's really tight. But what I suggest you do is you keep wiggling this part of the guide this way, and then you can get this window out. So be very careful. Well, this glass. So just slide it out. There we go. It comes out in one piece. Okay. Now pop that there. Now we've got some room to manoeuvre. I'll tell you what, the mess it's left is untrue. It's a good chance to clean all this out, but now I'm thinking, like, if we look at what it's done to the blooming car. It's started to cause rust on the door. Look at it, that's very little. I mean, there's some, I'll treat some of this, just a little bit there, but that's nothing. It's very treatable. But now I'm thinking, oh, I don't know how this is supposed to come out. I mean, presumably I actually push it in, and effectively, could you actually slide the window out? I'm thinking, am I doing it the wrong way? Right, now what I've done is I've given it a twist, and look what's happened. The glass has come off the guide. It's free. Yes. Oh, at last. Right, we've got freedom. So I just pull this from my hand. Still, lovely. It just is so reluctant to move. There we go. Oh. Right, so now, I see what you mean. It's sort of hooked in to this. So I think it's meant to sort of go in like this in the factory and hook itself in. God, what a pain this is. Clearly, I didn't read the instructions very well. Jesus Christ. There we go. Unhook it, come on. There we go, done. Oh, we're out. Oh my God. It gets worse. Oh my God, it's getting worse. Oh my God. It's broad daylight coming through there. Jesus. First of all, just make sure it is the same. Well, it isn't the same, but Jesus, that's bad. Yep. Same length. Yep. Yep. Just to confirm, right? There's only one place for this. It goes in the bin of shame, which is on the road because the bin men are coming. Shame. 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 I'm just going to take the window out. Done. Just put that in the room. Okay, right. Everything's stripped from this door, apart from obviously the motor itself. Yeah, it's not too bad in here. No, I could just take this seal out, to be fair, but I don't want to disturb too many things. Just have a look, be underneath. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Bit of paint coming off. I've got to treat that because there's been some reaction. That's absolutely fine. It's treatable, and I'll give it a touch up of paint. Again, just treat things like that. You don't want things like that spreading either. There's a little bit under my finger. I don't know if I can shoot you up. There you go. There's a bit on the ledge there. Just a little bit of... it's mainly from that, really. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Just look up. We've got a bit of wax. There's still some wax in places. I'm going to put some Dynex at the bottom of this door. Vacuum it out. Yeah, there's a door catch. Yeah. Fine. Okay, lovely. Right, well, we've got a good basis to work from. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spend a bit of time just cleaning it up. Not exciting. Not exciting, and I'll cut back when I'm done. Now, as it happens, as usual, when you start digging, you find more stuff. Yep, there's some rust just there. Sorry about the camera not focusing in properly, please. Thank you very much. Some there, mainly because I saw some just rust creeping on the edge there, but I've managed to go back as far as I can on that. I've taken the little runners that sit here, that the quarter window sits on, and no, it's all looking really good. I've just got to blow it out, clean it out, and rust convert it and put some paint over this, but yeah, it's all looking good. Very dirty at the bottom there as usual. I'll clean the motor up as well. The boot has kind of separated on that motor. I don't really care, don't worry about it, it works, that's the main thing. So yeah, this is where the time consuming bit comes into its own, because you've got to clean this, clean that, clean the windows, do it properly, take your time. Now listen, mate, you can't stay there. Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't stay there. I'm about to wax the damn thing. Come on. Jesus, this is harder than doing the work itself. Can I get you out of here? No, come on. Right, you've got to take the carpet. There we go. Jesus. Right. Good, I don't want to kill you. Go back to Earth. If anybody wants to know how their window regulator works, this is obviously mounted, okay, to the car. And obviously this is the leg that connects to the bottom of the window. And what we have to do is just put this on. If I can get it on, there we go. And you wind it up. But why is this moving? Well, this will be fixed to the car. So if you imagine, if you're winding the handle, this arm will change position constantly. So as soon as you're winding it, it just goes, it's just a simple gear on gear mechanism. It's very similar to what Rover have actually. It's very simple with just a single arm to pivot the window. It's really simple. What I have done is I've removed, I'll just actually take this off. I have actually just removed all the grease I can, just some remnants of grease here and there. And what I'm actually doing is GT85. Now, I am going to put a bit of grease on just for protection, but to be honest with you, my attitude is with grease is necessary in certain areas, but there are products now that can do exactly the same as grease. GT85, it can protect and it can lubricate the whole thing, all the pivot points, especially in here where the gear is. You want it in there, so that is going to be really nice and stiff. You want obviously this to be lubricated as well. Now that is ready to go back on the car. I'm just going to let that settle over here. Right, now I've done a load of cleaning and painting, and that door is now ready to be reassembled as such. So firstly, we have to put the window back in very, very loosely. Just before I do that, I'll put that back on, and I've put this window ledge thing just back on here, all nice and clean, exactly as I expect it. Brilliant. The idea is that you clean stuff, so everything, this is nice and clean, apart from the stupid tape. It's gonna be covered up anyway. Now the window. Remember, it goes that way, it curves outwards. And do it from this side. You can't do it from that side. You have to do it from the out. Squeeze it. And just let it drop at the bottom. Now we put this on. Now, as we took it out, we have to take it like that. We've got to put it in like that, and then we twist it round. We've got to bring it in front of the window, and then once we've got it roughly in position, put the quarter window in, and then we line this up with the glass so it sits in. I have cleaned this pre-hand on both sides. That's how it sits. This, where's my silicone spray? You can use GT85 or silicone lubricant. That will help enormously, and I would do it on this side as well, just to help squeeze everything in and make everything slippy. That's what you want. Easy as you like. Now, water glass. slide it in. Should. Right, that's roughly in place. I'll show you. Okay, so the glass is, well, that's a bit loose, obviously. That is kind of fixed in place now. That window, it's gone, that little bit of glass, it's just gone straight in. And now the tricky bit is trying to juggle that window onto this, which is why we have siliconed it. It would help as well to silicone the actual glass. It will get a bit slippy, but eventually we'll get it in. Boy, that took some effort. Right, what I had to do is take the quarter window back out to layer this whole guide this way slightly with the window. Now I managed to get the window on that guide, in between that guide first. Then I managed to pop it into the main guide, but I couldn't get the quarter window back in. So it was a really difficult exercise, but you've got to try and layer it. You have to silicone all of this to make it slippy. Otherwise this glass will not slip in past this seal. But now that's him. That is well and truly in. No, don't scratch my new paint, thank you very much. Yeah, so that's fantastic. I'm really pleased with that. That's gone in well and truly. And now it's just a simple case of fitting everything else back in. We've just got to tighten up all the bolts. So these two, that one, and then that one down there. Fantastic. Right, I've had to push the window up so that I can move this into a rough position. Don't tighten any of these bolts up because we need to get the whole thing lined up. See, that for me is too low. It needs to be pushed up a bit. Yeah, there we go, slightly better. Yeah, that's fine. It's a bit stiff on the threads because it's a bit rusty, but these bolts will do. Right, okay, that is tight, but it's wiggle tight, so we've got some play in the whole thing. Okay, so I'll try and get these bolts lined in. I don't know if it's actually sitting as flush as what it should be. That, oh, that's lined up perfectly. You can't see that, but the bolt's lined in. So I'm actually going to put that bolt straight in. Just put it on the end of my long T25, and hopefully I won't lose this. Right, okay, we have some wiggle room, more than that, just a little bit too tightly. Just right, now it's a movement. Okay, right, loose. They're not tight whatsoever. Right, no rust whatsoever. Fantastic. Right, so we've still got a bit of movement of the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is literally just push the whole window up. I don't think it will drop. There we go. It's gone all the way up. Right, okay. Now it might drop, but it won't drop all the way. Hopefully, there's still enough friction in this whole mechanism, despite lubrication with silicone, that it might not drop. It will probably, yeah. Just be wary about that. Right. The next thing is obviously I might have to drop it a little bit because we've got to put this regulator back in. This has all been lubricated, and I believe it's in the position I took it out in. I've winded it backwards and forwards a few times. So it's a simple case of hooking that end onto that piece of the window. So you just hook it over this way. This, by the way, guys, this piece isn't actually fixed. It can be rotated, but in fact, it's actually can actually bend as well. That's interesting. Yep, so this is what slots in, and once you've got it slotted in, it's just a case of, well, we've got to pop rivet the whole thing back on, haven't we? Okay, well, we need to bring this window down to fit this. Now it sits, by the way guys, it sits in the car. If you look at these bolt holes, it will sit in the car. Look at the way it will sit. That arm has got to slide on there and hook it in. Simple as that. Down. Come on. Just go in. There we go. There we go. It's gone in. There you go. Lovely, fantastic, and now it's swinging. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now it's all about finding a position of the window. I think, yeah, now we've got to get it in a position where we can actually line all these holes up. Obviously it's far down there at the moment, so we've got to do a bit of winding. Well, I've wound it all the way out. Should the window's about halfway up. There we go. Yeah, that's in. That's in the right position. And yeah, it's on the ledge. Fantastic. Well, we found the right position. And now it's a simple case of pot rivets. Done. I'm using extra big pot rivets, if you haven't noticed guys, and this is the limitation of this tool. These are quite big pot rivets, and I've bought them specifically for this sort of job. It takes a lot. I've cut back when I've done all four. Just make sure the holes are lined up and you're good. Oh Jesus, excellent, really good. So we're all in. Okay, I've just tightened up all of these bolts and everything works. The window winds up really nicely. I just need to put a bit more GT85 and that's it really. Fantastic. We can take that off for a second because we've got to put a few more things back on, including the outer weather strip. Now I've just given this a bit of a silicone on the inside on this fur because that's what touches the glass. As I say, it's all nice and clean now and ready to go back on. Bit of touch up here and there, not the best, but still, and just slide it on and just push it down. Now hopefully it will go on quite nicely. Some of it just bulges out. I'm afraid that's just, when you take these off, you just can't really get them back on in as neat a fashion. You see there's a bit of a bulge there, but it will just have to do. That's absolutely fine. That's going to go back on as well, this quarter panel. It's just a screw on the other side. Then we have the inner, which naturally, yeah, so we have to have the fur on that side. It's all been cleaned up to a T, so just push it down. Lovely, excellent, excellent. I'm going to put some silicone again. you can't have too much of this stuff. I recommend you do this every so often. You don't have to take any windows out or anything, just, you know, make sure it's all slippy in there. That's all good. Lovely. Right, next thing, we're going to put that trim back on. Right, okay, that was simple. 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3 screws for that. Pop that on. 1 screw for that. Don't over tighten the screw because you'll basically snap this plastic surround on the handle. Just a top tip on that one. That's what happened to the one on the driver's door, if you remember that, back to that episode. But we have this plastic spacer to go over there. But this is the bit that requires a bit of a hand. And you know what this is, guys? The handle. Oh boy, yes. Now, there doesn't really have to be a rule of thumb for how to do this. It's just if you can get it on. And basically the clip will sit like that. So the handle will be in the down position, which will be about here. So yeah, if I get it roughly the same as the other side, it's about there. You want it about there, okay? What we've got to do is push this clip. I don't know if you can see, so we've got to push this clip over there. Okay, there's a groove there, and once we've got it on, snap. There's no easy way of doing this. So just a top tip. Done. There are a couple of products that I'm going to use to clean all this up. I'm going to use some glass polish, nothing fancy, and Autoglym vinyl and rubber care for the plastics, because I'm going to show you something before I go. Now, it is a common problem with Ford plastics that they just scratch so easy. I know that people have resprayed them in a similar grey, and to great effect. I might be doing that. They're so easy to take off, but for now, this product, slash it on. Yeah, I put a bit on there, bit on there, bit on there. Slash it on. Let it soak in. This is an amazing product, this is. If I could get this in bulk, I will. There's a couple of products I get in bulk. But anyway, we get our microfiber. Just pretend it's a clean one, please. Look at that! Every single scratch has been reduced to absolutely nothing. I'm just going to go over the door card as well. So, it's safe on a lot of fabrics, this. You have to get in the grooves. I hate where we've got grooves. There we go. Lovely. Nice to touch. Nice to smell. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of products that I'm going to get in trade. I love Auto Glym products, but I think Vinyl and Rubber Care is one product I will buy in bulk because I use it so much. I use it for tyres. Don't bother with tyre shine. I use this stuff for tyres. Does exactly the same job. It's silicone based and it will just shine it up. My good friend Rob is laughing when I mention about the overuse of silicone, especially on tyres. Just saying. But that is amazing. I mean, even that scratch there, I could make that come down even more. But look at that. It's a minute one there. But that's it. Come on, camera. Magic, isn't it? The amount of products that are out there that can make a bit of trim with some obvious scratches far less obvious to the eye. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to finish this video here. I just wanted to show you a couple of things that I've been doing. You know, while there are parts of the car that are a bit nah, I'm going to show you underneath the car. Ignore that. We'll deal with that. I'm going to leave you here with this. Naff. Bit of new paint. And that is how good this car actually is under the surface. She's getting there, and the only reason why that door will ever have to be dismembered is accident damage or broken central locking motor. And that's the way I work. You go in there, you clean it up, you do a lot more jobs than just the part you need, and you probably very rarely or never have to be back. We'll never say never in this game, but the chances are very, very unlikely. For me and Ruby, almost. Good day.